If you're a business owner, you don't need us to tell you running a business is tough. Don't let QuickBooks and spreadsheets slow you down anymore. Now is the time to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle, the world's #1 cloud business system. NetSuite gives you the visibility and control over your financials, HR, inventory, e-commerce, and more. Join the over 21,000 companies using NetSuite right now. Schedule your free product tour right now at netsuite.com/C-suite. netsuite.com/C-suite.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and as always, I'm here with the homie Kevin.
Hello, everybody. Hopefully, everyone else has been having a pretty good half week so far. This being a Wednesday evening for us.
Oh yeah.
Indeed.
You know, we're here to get you through that midweek hump. Even though the soonest you can listen to this will probably be Thursday.
I know, right? So technically, we just finished hump night.
Oh shit. Wait a minute now. We need to rephrase
that. Laughing. No, because that's what came to mind. I was like, oh gosh, that's kind of too good. Kind of too good. That's a thing now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's right. So if you didn't have a good hump night, then the homies got your back.
That's gonna be our first T-shirt. Superhero Homies on Sunday and hump night.
Yeah. But you know, man. I mean, you know, think about it. Like the podcast, like we broadcast like late Sunday night. So the soon as people hear this, like Monday morning, maybe on your way to work, and then again, like a little bit over halfway through the week in that like midweek hustle, you know.
Yeah.
So we got your back. You know, we're here to help you.
Oh, it's a Monday. We're here to pick you up and make it a better day.
That's right.
Oh, it's Thursday. It's not quite the weekend. It's the day of torture. Oh, well, here you go. Let's get you through it.
That's right. Yeah. So when we're not bashing Ragnarok, we're here to uplift all of you guys.
Literally, we have done that. I think every episode from I don't know from which. It was one of the Wednesday night episodes. We just started bashing it, and then from every episode, then
you know, here's the thing though. Like I watched a scene earlier, from Ragnarok, and you know, it made me laugh, and it brought back, you know, just the feeling again that this movie, it really is not all bad. It actually has a lot of good elements to it. It's just the fact that they don't tonally nail the characters or the plot.
Like. As far as the movie went, there were a lot of cool and fun things about it.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think about it.
The things I made wrong were serious hang-ups.
Yeah. They were. Exactly. Yeah. That's the perfect way to put it. I mean, but you got to think, like, if you don't know anything really about Thor or Planet Hulk, then these things probably wouldn't bother you that much.
Exactly.
You know, just... And I think that's what the director was hoping for.
And that's probably the consensus of most of the audience. I imagine there's a huge chunk of us out there who were comic nerds who did read Planet Hulk or anything really from Planet Hulk and then said, hey, look, they got that wrong.
You know, but, you know, my thing is, because we're going to talk about this later tonight, you know, because we're covering Guardians.
Right.
But, you know, I don't have problems with you know, movies getting things quote unquote wrong from the comics. Because you know, here's the thing about me: it's like I claim that I have a pretty decent knowledge of these comic things,
and I support that claim.
Thank you. But the last thing I ever want to be is a comic Nazi. You know those people who are always
those
like
douchebags.
I don't like that because in Guardians of the Galaxy issue 16, page 6, panel 4, they do this instead of that. You know, like no one wants to be that guy. No one wants to hang around that guy.
Your best friend is your reflection in the mirror, buddy. Like no one else wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
It reminds me of those people that go to a movie about a book. You know, they
same thing.
They do the thing.
Same
and it's
thing.
Like, that was nothing like the dadgum book. I don't like it.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry. Who do you think you are? It's cool. Let them do their creative differences. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, same thing with Game of Thrones and whatnot. There's people that do it with that too.
I was about to say, because there's a lot of characters from the books we haven't seen at all in the series.
And vice versa. There's some characters who were just for the show who were never really in the book.
That I was not aware of, to be honest, because I'm just a huge fan of the show.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. And so, like, you know, in that sense, we're like those people. You know, we go into that show And we watched the show, and we nerd out over it. Well, meanwhile, someone else is probably flipping their shit over like a series change or something.
I met that person. It was in a Second and Charles. If you guys don't know what that is, that's essentially a really cool like bookstore with like new and also hand-me-down books and things like that. It's just a genuinely great store. Look it up. But back to the point. Some kid came in and he was a friend of a friend. And I was, hey, what's good? I'm Kevin. Let me get to know you, bro. What are you about? What? Oh, you're a big Game of Thrones fan? Oh, we're trashing Game of Thrones already. Well, we're 30 seconds into the conversation. This is a new record for me.
Right.
And these are my thoughts as he's like talking shit about the writer, about the show. And he's like, nah, he changed his style because of this. And it's like,
whoa, yeah.
And then I just like type on an imaginary microphone, like, I just want to make a statement. I enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Thank you. That is all.
Right.
Like, okay, whatever.
And that's exactly what I keep in mind when people, say that they thoroughly enjoy Ragnarok, because it did have a lot of enjoyable elements to it.
Right.
I mean, it's just...
I try to.
Yeah. Like you said, there's a difference between making changes. I'm all for changes, like I've said dozens of times now.
Right. I mean, another great example of that would be Walking Dead. One huge change they made, Daryl. He's non-existent in any comic.
He's one of many changes. Yeah, Rick kept his hand in the show.
Exactly. You know? Well, that I can kind of side with the show on that.
Like, Robert Kirkman, the creator, says that that's his one biggest regret is that he took Rick's hand.
Really? I did not know that. Interesting. Yeah. Not, half Carl's face.
Yeah. Which, by the way, Robert Kirkman, he's ending his superhero comic run, The Invincibles. I've been meaning to pick that up.
Really?
I think I will now that it's coming to an end. Maybe just like get a giant ass omnibus or something.
Yeah, and I'd like to read that as well. Kind of maybe do a cast episode.
No, hell yeah. I mean, they said it's really good, and so I've been really wanting to pick that up for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. But
what are we doing? So, we're just like the general topic tonight. This would be fun to do in the future.
That would be, yeah. So tonight we're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1.
Yeah. I promised that I wouldn't dance, by the way, people. So I'm sorry to break some hearts out there.
Yeah, he's never going to dance again. So
guilty feet of got a pair of boots.
And no rhythm.
But
oh, man. So, one of the first things that I realized upon rewatching this movie last night, because admittedly it has been a few years since I've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, it came out in 2014.
In 2014, yeah, coming up on 4 years.
Yeah. And which, in our present day, it's like, okay, that's super old. Yeah.
I mean, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
But 4 years, oh, geez, I hate that I got sidetracked already. But... But this is another cool factoid pertaining to Marvel. Do you know about approximately how much money the MCU has made thus far?
Oh gosh, I can't even imagine. Please tell me.
Nearly $14 billion from 2008 to now. Nearly $14 billion.
That is stupid. And Disney was still able to buy them out. Oh my! Well, not buy them out, but like. Help me out here. Disney bought the Marvel rights?
No, well, Disney bought... they're trying to acquire...
help me find the words.
They're trying to acquire Fox now.
What?
I mean, yeah, the X-Men, Fantastic Four, those acquisitions.
Yeah. Okay, I did hear about.
What were you referring to?
No, I thought Disney owned Marvel, dude.
Yeah. The MCU since 2008 to now has made $14 billion.
Okay. No, well, shit. That's all been under the Disney flag as well. Then is what you're saying. Okay, I thought that included the time pre-Disney purchasing, which was like Iron Man and very few films.
No, Iron Man was under the umbrella.
Really? Yeah. I did not know that. I thought
Iron Man. Iron Man was the first one under the umbrella.
Well, I mean, Iron Man was debatably the first one to a lot of people, but
he's the first one in the MCU.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I was about to say, you made me second guess myself for a second. Like the way you were looking at me, I was like, nah.
That's because
Disney bought Marvel, bro.
Yeah, I was like, Kevin said that Disney bought Marvel. It's like either he's misunderstanding me or he's referencing something that happened like 14 years ago. I don't know what's happening.
Right? Yeah. No. It was, I mean, super old news. Yeah, but nonetheless, I was like, Don't you tell me that didn't exist. I didn't jump dimensions here. I'm not from C-137 or something, man.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Anyway, so yeah, that was just a cool factoid. Anyway,
it was
about how much damn money Marvel has made. But yeah, so the reason that they came up though is because we were talking about how Guardians came out over almost 4 years ago now, and how upon watching it again for the first time in all those years, it just reminded me of how much I really enjoyed this movie. I definitely think that Guardians 1 is definitely one of the strongest films in the MCU. And I remember it was during the Black Panther review podcast that I had off the top of my head I rattled off my top 4 favorites in the MCU. I said it was Iron Man, Avengers, Winter Soldier, and Black Panther.
Right.
And I think if I had to round out to 5, I might put Guardians in that 5th slot.
That's fitting.
Because it really is a fun movie. Yeah. I mean, it's appropriately fun, and right. They, James Gunn and the entire crew, man, like they realized the ridiculousness of this story that they're telling.
Like it was a very unique movie to what Marvel has done up to that point, Mm-hmm. And like you said before, I'm gonna go ahead and borrow your words here real quick.
Yeah.
It came from nowhere. Mm-hmm. Like people were just like, "Whoa, what? This is a whole new tone for the Marvel universe."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a really smart move, but you can't blame people for wondering where the hell this came from because it came out of left field.
Yeah.
You gotta understand, like at this point, they just got finished doing things like, like a Captain America movie again, like a grounded movie like Winter Soldier. They're sticking with the staples seemingly. Like there was a Thor and there was an Iron Man again. And then there's Guardians.
Right. And these guys weren't in Avengers 1 at all. Like,
right.
Who are they?
And and not only that, but you think that they would maybe want to continue their success, with the popular franchise characters. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are thinking maybe they'll go ahead and introduce Black Panther here, or maybe Captain Marvel, or Doctor Strange. But all these things are coming or already came in due time. Mm-hmm. But with Guardians, I think it was a good decision just to see how the audience would react to something so different.
Right.
How do they react to the spacefaring side of Marvel?
Mm-hmm. Plus, I think it gave them liberty to do a lot of other creative differences. For instance, this is one of the first movies where the soundtrack played an integral part, not just in the movie and the awesomeness of the music, because who didn't love the soundtrack?
Right.
But also in the character himself, of course, being Peter Quill, that cassette player, man, that old school tech was a part of his soul almost,
Yeah.
It was awesome. And how they used that was, and also how that also played into other elements of the story itself, not just to focus in on one person, but on the overall story, it worked out super well for them,
I agree.
It was a whole new recipe.
Yeah, I agree. And, if I were one of those comic Nazis, then I'd be all over the fact that what's up with this cassette player thing and the weird dancing.
It's Chris Pratt, damn it. Tell him to go watch Parks and Rec. Yeah. Also the blooper reels.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen those?
Yeah,
they are hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, let's get into this breakdown here.
Let's.
So did you recognize young Peter Quill?
The child? No.
Yeah. He was in It. He was like the main character.
What?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't think about that at all.
Yeah. Yeah. His name is Wyatt Oleff.
He's really good at playing a sad kid.
Yeah. Yeah. In this movie, his mother died, and his brother died. So.
Oh gosh, this poor kid is so tragic. He shows up in another movie. Oh shit! Who died?
Yep. Which one of your family members died this time?
My dad.
Yep. And it kicks off in 1988. That was a good year, people. And
okay, you.
And I'm Not in Love is playing on his on his Walkman there, and he's sitting outside in the hospital room. Go ahead.
Do you remember the short conversation you and I had in theaters when that began?
I do not.
I do, because I remember it threw me off as much as it did you. When it started playing like that, there was no lead-in introduction like Marvel does for a lot of their movies. There was no awesome, big cinematic, Marvel, it's in your face.
Yeah.
No, it literally was the boy and this weird scene.
I do
and
remember
you and I were
now,
both
yeah.
like, is this a preview?
I thought it was a preview. Yeah,
and
that's
you're just
right.
like, what? This is fascinating. What is this? Why is this little boy so sad? Okay, it's a hospital. Oh, is this the movie? Oh shit! And you're just like, whoa, okay, we're starting. We hit the gas pedal.
Yeah, like as soon as the granddad says Peter, I'm like, oh, okay, okay.
Like, oh, this is the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so long story short, we find out that Peter's mom is deathly ill. I mean, she is knocking on death's door, right at that moment. And young Peter, he says a few words with his mom, and they have a pretty interesting conversation. Especially when you take into account Guardians 2 as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and wrap that all up here, and it's quite interesting because the things that the mother says about the father. I mean, of course, in the comics, the father is Jason or Jason, depending on how you pronounce it.
I know, right?
Who the hell knows?
Basically, Jason, but with a weird pronunciation.
Yeah, there's no A in it. Yeah.
It's J accent and then
J apostrophe S-O-N. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So in the comics, yeah, Jason or Jason, who's like king of like the Spartex people. And he had to leave Peter's mom to go off to war, to defend his people and his kingdom. I mean, long story short, obviously it took a long time before Jason even realized that his son was a thing, and that's something that they kind of keep in common here with this movie because Peter's mother, as she's laying there dying, she's singing praises to Peter's dad. And saying that he's an angel just like Peter. Now he's gonna come back for Peter, and all this sentimental things. And obviously in Guardians 2 they change it around a little bit and they make Ego the living planet into an entity, like a human entity,
right?
And
almost like a deity, almost who can like go back and forth on form constantly. He can live on himself, but also be Kurt Russell. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, I'm not gonna get too much into Ego here, just because that's gonna be for
a whole other podcast.
Yeah, that's gonna be for Guardians 2. But I will say this: one thing about Ego that is constant with the comics, at least, is that regardless, Peter's dad is a dick. And so that's one thing that they really did get in common here. But that just made this scene for me particularly even sadder, seeing Peter's mom die, and she died with this belief that Peter's dad was gonna come back for him, and that Peter's dad was this great guy.
Yeah, it's like Yondu said at the end of the movie. Nah. That guy was an asshole.
No, he said that guy was there was an asshole, jackass, something like that.
There it is, yeah.
That guy was a jackass. And it is true.
Michael Rooker, man, every time he's on screen, I love him, dude. Well, he's great. Amazing.
Yeah. So Peter, he leaves the hospital, like running, screaming, because the poor kid's mom just passed.
Right, that's tragic.
Yeah, and then he immediately gets abducted.
Yep.
Now, were the Ravengers, were they just waiting outside, just hovering in the air?
Sure.
Where they're like, okay, this kid's got to come out sometime.
I know, right?
Yeah. And would they just abduct him in front of his parents and everybody if they came out with him?
Actually, I bet you what was about to happen. Like, they actually pulled up. They were following the car, okay? Get this. This is my made-up narration. I'm doing it on the spot, so bear with me. They were following the car from space, from the sky, hidden by the onsetting fog, right? Because it was super foggy when he went outside. So the onsetting fog was coming, disguising the ship naturally, right? And then Yondu, he's there talking with his lieutenant and his other crewmates, like, man, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this shit. We're not getting paid enough for this. Let's just eat the kid. Yeah? Okay. Or whatever they were debating doing. Right. And then, they're about to say, like, so do we have to go in an Earth hospital? And then all the other mates who obviously look superhuman were just like, so what's a hospital? BS and all this bullshit. And all of a sudden, like, they're just like, man, I don't want to go to a hospital. That place sounds dirty. Or whatever they're saying. Who cares? But then all of a sudden they see the boy run out and it's like, well, that was easy. Womp. Pick him up. All right.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the story.
Yeah. Yeah, who the hell knows? I just thought it was interesting, worth noting that. That was abrupt.
No, it definitely was, like, perfect timing. Awkwardly so.
Right.
Yeah.
It was, and I understand just for the sake of the story and for the movie, you got to move it along. You got to tell us this part of the story and then get to what you got to get to.
Right. Let's get to the actual important parts and not this.
Yeah, but you got to tell us this part because it is kind of integral to the character of Peter Quill.
It leads us into the rest.
Right.
Yeah.
And as soon as he gets abducted, so what do you think of the scene overall, though? This opening scene here with young Peter.
It came out of nowhere, so the surprise factor was turned up some.
Oh yeah.
It definitely was emotional. It kind of helped set a little bit of like a, I don't know, the prologue, definitely. Because that's exactly what it was. It was a prologue. But it also served as a prologue to Peter Quill as to who he is and what kind of like makes him him, And it really did serve a good purpose there. Like, it was very emotional, just came out of nowhere. Almost jarring, really, if you went into the theater with the mindset of what you saw from the trailers. Because the trailers made the movie look like a hell of a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And it didn't at all bring up, like, this.
Right.
So it was kind of like, oh, that just happened. Okay. Oh, this boy was kidnapped. But then they quickly changed the pace here and turned a whole new direction into what we see in the next scene. Which, honestly, I thought was really cool. I still liked it, What about you?
I really enjoyed the opening here, for a couple of reasons. One, like, I think I enjoyed it more watching it again. Having some time between the last time I've seen the movie, because like knowing what the rest of the pace and the tone of the movie is like in comparison, I feel like this was a breath of fresh air. Before we enter. Like the spacefaring, joke spewing machine that the movie kind of becomes.
True. And it definitely was one of the more emotional parts of the movie, if not like debatably the most emotional part of the movie.
Right. Yeah. And I think so. And I think that it also watching it again, like a lot of the dialogue, especially from the mother here, it came off as a little cheesy, a little corny.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
But the thing of it is that they were quick about it. And because they were so quick about it, like you do feel for this young boy when his mom passes. And then like it leaves you dwelling on that note versus like kind of the cheesy shit that she was saying.
So here's another quick question.
Yeah.
What the hell did the rest of the family think when they went outside and Peter was missing?
Like, no shit.
Because he had like his granddad there who was just like, it's okay, come here. You have to see your mother, and all of a sudden it's like, he ran outside, right? Where did he? What? And it's like, his poor family. Like, oh, I guess Peter's dead.
Right.
Well, yeah,
that's true. Yeah. I mean, who knows? I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter, to be honest.
No, it doesn't, because the family was the Earth family,
right? Yeah. They're not gonna be like he got abducted by aliens, and not unless somebody saw it.
Not unless someone saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, let's move along here.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, so of course the next thing we get here is that he goes. The next scene we get here is that we see this planet and the spaceship flying towards it. They will learn the Milano. He calls the Milano after Alyssa Milano, of course.
Yeah.
The actress, and I think she was a singer too, wasn't she?
Sure. I don't know. Yeah. But let's find out.
Yeah. It's interesting that they gave the ship a name in this movie, because in the comics the ship is literally just named Ship. Ship. But I thought it was a nice touch that they gave the ship a name. After like his teen crush. Like
yeah.
But another interesting tidbit though is that he goes to.
You're right. She was a former singer.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, cool. She does not go to the planet Marag.
Nope.
Peter, he goes to the planet Marag. And what's interesting about the planet Marag, because I immediately paused and Googled this planet because I wasn't familiar with it.
Sure.
I mean, there's a shitload of planet and universes in the Marvel comic universe, so like there's no way to know. But what's interesting is that in the terms of the comics, I couldn't find anything as far as this being a planet. But what I did find was that this was a general. As a matter of fact, the first known Kree general. Yeah. His name was Marag. And he actually played a really big part in kickstarting the whole Kree Skrull War that's been waging for years and years and years. And And the only other thing I could find on the word Marag in the Marvel comics was the fact that Captain Marvel had a ship named Marag.
Yeah, it actually says all that right here. Yeah, cool.
Yep. And so I thought that was interesting that they chose to name this planet that. And I don't know if like maybe they're trying to imply that part of the Kree and Skrull War took place here. I don't know, because it did
look like it. There was plenty of dead bodies around to lead to that belief. You know, especially one particularly horsey skull.
Yeah,
indeed.
Yeah. So he lands on the planet abruptly and uses like this little scanner thing, essentially to find this rare artifact that he's in search for. And he's on his way, and then he takes off his cool Star-Lord helmet with the press of a button, like a Bluetooth thing.
I know, right?
And then puts on the headphones, and then what do we get, Kevin?
I suck at that noise, but come and get your daggum love.
Yeah, come and get your love. And then, like this right here,
song.
It was a great song and great choice. And here's the thing I got to say about James Gunn is that I'm really glad that this is the guy directing the Guardians movies, because I don't think that anyone else takes this kind of risk with the movie, in a Marvel movie at that, you know, because with the Marvel movie, there's a lot of pressure on you, I'd imagine, to keep the movie like it's got to be a great movie. Like it's a Marvel movie.
I imagine a lot of it is him trusting his actors and the people that he has casting in these roles, because a lot of that, I mean, which comic book ever had Peter Quill literally like that, you know?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Peter Quill is definitely like a happy-go-lucky-ish, like kind of silly, you know, headstrong, gung-ho
like his
guy.
own unique charm, for sure. Right. Yeah, but then all of a sudden it's like you get Chris Pratt behind the role. It's like, you know what? You want to do a goofy dance? Hell yeah, I want to do a goofy dance.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll do it. That'll be the first scene. Yeah. You cool with this? We'll do that today. All right. And all of a sudden we get this amazing, cool scene where it's like, what? Yeah. Everyone is falling in love with this. I can't not enjoy this.
Right?
This
is
great.
It was. It was really great. It was a really great opening scene for a couple of reasons. One, because I mean, even though I've never seen it personally, I don't think it's outside the range for the character of Peter Quill to do that.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it was just a really fun opening scene, and it really prepares the audience kind of for what's to come. You know, as far as the tone goes. And so he travels along here, and while he's dancing, of course, like you said, he spins around the skeleton head of like this weird looking mongoloid alien creature skeleton. Which I forgot, what's the name of Betty Ray Bill's people? I forget what they're called.
The Horsonians.
Shit. I believe they're called the Beta Ray Billions. That's what they are.
I like that too. Okay, we're getting there.
Yeah. So if you guys are familiar with the character Beta Ray Bill, of course he's a character prominently known in the Thor comics originally. Now he's in a lot of. You can find him in Guardians comics. You can find him in certain Thanos comics, like the Thanos Imperative. He's in there. He's in a lot of the cosmic comics, and he's a horse-shaped creature that has strikingly similar features to Thor. And he's a really popular character. He's really boomed in popularity over the years, to the point where I think that he's probably going to replace Chris Hemsworth in the movies.
Damn. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the next step. I think that's the next step. Yeah. I think we use Betty Ray Bill next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think he ever comes to Earth, but I think we use him next. But anyway, he's a really popular character who has a really funky looking head and face, because he is like a horseman type deal.
Right.
Not quite like BoJack. A little bit more buff and smarter than BoJack Horseman.
I was waiting for a BoJack joke.
Yeah, he doesn't quite have a drinking problem either. But no, so the skeleton he spins around was to represent that race of people. And I thought there was a really cool Easter egg and nod to the character Beta Ray Bill. Obviously, that was not Beta Ray Bill's skeleton, but it was, one of his people.
Right.
Yeah. So he comes along, and he finds a way to get this mysterious orb that we find out is the power gem.
His race, Beta Ray Bill's race.
Yeah.
The Corbinites.
Corbinites. Okay.
There it is. Cool. It took like a minute of reading, but yes, it was eventually in this article after he picked up the hammer and Odin mistook a man with a horse head for his son.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like, oh.
Is that you, Thor? Thor. Thor's got a big nose.
He appeared on the left side with the eye patch, like, oh, hey, Thor, how you doing today? He finally turned, oh.
Well, shit.
Earth has some weird traditions.
Yep. I think I done fucked up. But no, so he probably gets the orb, which we find out is the power gem, and fortunately it is encased. Otherwise, probably everything would be destroyed.
Right. Yeah.
And then Korath shows up with this man, played by Jimon Hansu.
I like him. He can play an intimidating role quite well.
He's really good. As a matter of fact, I remember, I think it was back in like 2006. I don't know if you saw this, but there was the Black Panther cartoon that came on BET.
Oh, a little bit. I did see clips of it. Yeah.
It was a great show. It focused a lot on like T'Chaka Black Panther and also current day T'Challa Black Panther. It was a really cool show.
Okay.
But anyway, Jimon Hansu, the guy who plays Korath here, he actually voiced T'Challa in that series.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I could see that actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or better yet,
hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. Boom.
Yep. Korath has no idea who Star-Lord is.
Star-Lord.
Yeah.
Who? Come on, man.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty fun scene here, and then we see the action here is pretty cool. It tries to escape here. What do you think about this whole scene here? Once we get done with the dancing, and
it served its dual purposes. It told the story continuously, and it also showed off Peter Quill and the fact that he's not an average scavenger, and he's no longer this innocent little Earth boy who lost his mom. You know, he's an explorer, and he's a good scavenger.
Right.
And it's also flashing off his unique tool set, which comes in handy quite often here, like that singularity singularity pulling grenade. I'm gonna call it the puller.
Yeah,
sure.
I don't know what you call that thing,
but. And everything all of a sudden is like sucked in, and he's Korath. Is that what his name was?
Korath.
Yeah. Wrong vowel. No. But he comes in, he's like, get up, you guys, and they're all just like, the grenade did it. Yeah. No, it definitely did show off the technology like that, which was super awesome because we needed to see what kind of arsenal our boy here, who's technically an Earthling, by definition. What he's rocking, know. Yeah.
And like when it comes to comics, like Earthlings are always the underdogs because we don't have any abilities or special things about us. We don't live a really long time.
Oh, you're mundane planet, so you guys are the monkey people, right? And it's like, why do people always assume that's us?
Right.
Yeah. You're not wrong, but get off our back.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was a really cool chase scene here as he's trying to escape.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It really shows a lot of the tools and gadgets, like you said. Yeah, so I thought it was pretty effective here. He gets on the ship, and then we're greeted by Berit, the pink woman, who's on the ship, and she's also a character from the comics as well.
Okay.
I mean, once again, I completely. There's nothing to forgive James Gunn for. As far as the portrayal of these super ass obscure characters, just because I mean, who the hell knows who Berit is?
Right? Yeah. I mean,
no one. I mean, you really have to be balls deep into some cosmic comics to know. And here's the thing: I'm the first to tell you guys, my knowledge of the cosmic comics is only okay. It's only man. Yeah. My forte is everything on Earth. I'm a grounded person. Once we start taking shit into the cosmos, my comic knowledge is it's just
it wanes thin.
Yeah, it's only okay. I can tell you things about the big story arcs. That is about all
the big ones. For sure. I was about to say. So, do you have a quick summary then of who this character was in the comic versus what we saw?
All I can tell you about her is that she really liked to. I don't really want to say take photographs, but she really liked to capture events.
Okay.
Yeah.
My next question obviously would have been,
Not porn.
Q.
No.
Okay. It's like what kind of photographs
so
Q?
I
We can't talk about these Q.
I stumbled across a Guardians porn parody for a while, and
I don't even want to imagine.
that's got to be a thing, though, right?
Oh gosh.
Guardians porn parody. It's got to be a thing. Google that. I'm kidding.
Please don't, people. Oh my gosh, spare yourselves. You're just gonna see a naked tree.
You will. And a super angry, aggressive Drax. And what about Rocket? What do you do with Rocket?
Gosh. Oh. Dude, let's change the subject.
And poor Gamora, she's getting it from every angle.
Oh gosh, yeah, poor Gamora.
Oh shit.
Oh man.
Yeah. Anyway, so now that we're done with the Guardians porn parody, the next thing we see is Yondu. He's now on planet was Morag, and trying to find Peter, and of course he calls up Peter on I guess their equivalent of a telephone screen.
Yeah. Their own. Oh shit! What? Oh, what is that service called, dude? I haven't needed it in forever.
Skype.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
See, we all have FaceTime on the phones now. Skype is like, what the crap do I need you for?
Right.
Like, your
Also,
connection never works.
I'm about to say, Skype only works like 50% of the time.
You had to use it too for a time,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, it was like, hello? The first 5 minutes is, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
But anyways.
And Yondu immediately starts to threaten Peter and that he's gonna eat him, and about how he should have ate him when he was a kid.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, shit, Yondu.
I know, right?
Yep. And of course, Yondu Undata, he's another character from the comics, and we said this before, but he is the only member of the original Guardians of the Galaxy that's in this movie here. Yeah, and I do like what they did with him here in the movie. I mean, because once again, he is a far cry from the comics. Now, you may be asking yourselves at this point, now Quentin and Kevin, isn't it a little hypocritical, you guys, that you harp on Ragnarok for its vast differences, but you give Guardians a pass for its vast differences? Well, here's the thing, listeners who may have those questions. The difference is Planet Hulk came out like 10 years ago. Yondu Undata was introduced like back in the 70s. And the series didn't do that well. It's super obscure. No one read it. Literally everybody has read Planet Hulk. So my point is
true.
that
a lot more people have read Planet Hulk than the Guardians.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
You can't really mess with something that's so tried and true. But I thought that Yondu was really fun. Because he was really just Michael Rooker.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, okay, put all this shit on.
Yeah, and then
now you be you.
Yeah, and you be you. But instead said that you're going to eat this guy.
Exactly.
Yeah. Instead of a gun, you have a magic whistling arrow. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I really want that to be his legitimate whistling capability. Like, I hope none of that was like some editing CG stuff. I really...
Yeah.
I am fooling myself to believe that he can actually whistle that well.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see him whistling
exactly,
like that.
Yeah. But,
yeah.
No, he was just an excellent casting choice for that role because, one, I loved it, dude. Michael Rooker is the man. Have you ever seen him in person? Have you ever like seen any interviews on TV or anything like that about him?
Yeah.
He just seems like so much fun.
He does.
Like, I want to meet you, bruh. Can we just have a game of poker or something?
Right.
Yeah. But man.
Yeah.
That's a shout out to you, Michael. Let's make it happen.
So the next big scene we get though is with Ronan and his weird ass intro into the movie. He's like in this weird bathing pit.
That was strange. And remind me, who played the part of Ronan?
Lee Pace.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
another amazing actor. This is another one of those times when Marvel cast an amazing actor as the villain, and then doesn't really do much with him.
Right.
Because
this one was definitely one of the flukes of this movie.
Yeah. Because Lee Pace deserves more. He's a great actor. He's another one of the Lord of the Rings alumni who came over to Marvel.
Wait.
Yeah. He played like one of the high elves.
That's right. Okay. I had to look at his face again to kind of remind myself. But it's like, my Lord of the Rings trivia knowledge people, if I was on your team, just to summarize what I know of it, I would make your team lose. So that's how familiar I am with my LOTR trivia right now, okay?
Well, shit.
Yeah.
I bet you're not that bad. What are the names of their talking trees?
Treants.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, were they ents? Yeah.
Oh, well. Yeah, that's what I said. Who said I didn't? Shut up. See, I passed, and then Aragorn, he's the shit, you know.
Okay, that would not be a proper answer. Who is Aragorn?
The shit?
The shit is not a proper...
I broke my sound. He's a ranger. There you go. See?
Okay,
I
well,
got that.
how old is he?
Really old. He's like hundreds or something, like over 100 years old.
I don't think he's that. I think he's in his 80s. Then again, who am I talking? I don't know my LOTR that well either.
You educate us, people.
I think he's like 86, 87.
I get an angry email.
Yeah.
It's like,
we're going to get plenty of that, yeah. They're going to be like, stick to comics.
That's true. That's true. Let's go back to
Yeah.
that before I get too off track here.
Yep, and if you guys are typing that, you can delete it. You are absolutely correct.
We are getting back onto that because we do know that.
Yeah, but yeah, the reason we got off in that whole little weird rant is because of Ronan, played by Lee Pace, who was also in Lord of the Rings. I think The Hobbit too. But anyways, so Lee Pace, he makes this intro here, and we also, like, within this one scene, we see Lee Pace as Ronan, then we see Nebula, and then we see Gamora. We see like pretty much all of them back to back to back for the first time here in this movie. Now, what's interesting here is that, you know, they have Nebula and Gamora as sisters, which is an interesting touch. But it's also a good creative decision too, I think, overall. And just point this out just for, you know, for you guys who may not know. But yeah, these two actually aren't sisters per se in the comics. Now, Gamora, they did really well as far as like her actual canonized story goes. She was kind of taken by Thanos and adopted, and she was like raised as his own to be like his own little assassin soldier type.
Sure.
But Gamora, or not Gamora, but Nebula, she actually came along and claimed to be his grandchild in the comics. And during the time when Thanos was quote unquote dead, she took over his sanctuary ship. And Thanos didn't take too well to that. He came back with the Cosmic Cube, the Infinity Gauntlet, and all the gems. And he turned her into basically an ugly zombie that couldn't do anything, a decrepit, ugly zombie. He did that for a while. Yeah. So yeah. So there was that. But yeah, so that's just one slight difference though. But I thought that for the movie, it made a lot of sense and it worked to meet these two sisters.
Yeah, because that would have been a more far-fetched and kind of like stretched out story to tell.
Yeah, you can't fit that in a 2-hour movie.
You can have Gamora, who's perfectly normal, and then all of a sudden Cronenberg is the other one, and make that work out. You know, yeah. Not easily, at least. Not in a sense that would still work well with your overarching story.
Right.
I digress, though. Let's continue.
Yeah, and so yeah, basically, you know, we see the three of the really big characters in this movie like all in one scene for the first time, and I thought it was really effective. You know, really kind of shows us at least a little bit about the nature of these characters. And you know, here at first, you wouldn't be foolish to think that, you know, Gamora is a bad person here in this movie.
Right.
Well, actually, you would be foolish to think that. You've seen her on the posters. So, so in that case,
I don't know, man. She always rocked that angry look super well.
Yeah. But yeah, so do you have any thoughts here about Ronan or Nebula Gamora here in this opening or in this first scene?
Ronan look, and I'm like many out there. My knowledge of the cosmic comics was also found wanting at this point. So when I saw Ronan, I was just kind of like, well, this is intriguing as shit. Who is this mofo coming from like this tar pit looking thing, and all of a sudden he's got like a cabal of women like painting him or whatever. Like, oh, let's put our war paints on. I was like, oh, this is getting kind of weird, man.
I mean, okay. I see that, but I would love if I got out of the shower and a bunch of chicks started lotioning my body down and then putting clothes on me. Like, yeah, I'm the shit.
You'd be even later to work.
Yeah, I would be. I would never make it to work remotely on time.
Yeah, me neither. Who am I kidding? Yeah. But no, and then it's like, okay, and then you're this purple dude, got black lines. And so one of the things I did, I went home and I kind of just looked them up on my own free will. Like, okay, so who was this guy? What was he all about? First thing I noticed, like, oh, they changed some basic aspects about him. Like,
well, they got the headdress similar.
Yeah, the headdress is about right. It looks like that, like drooping cloak. It's just like basically a blanket half pulled up over the head.
But you also got to figure, like, I guess, like his look is so impractical, that I guess you really do just have to kind of do what you have to do.
Yeah, I got it pulled up here. So
that's his original look from back in the day. I mean, he looks even different now.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't.
Oh no, that's the movie him. So yeah. I was just scrolling the page, people. So okay, that makes sense. But no,
with Ronin nowadays, it's interesting because, like, I mean, he and a lot of the comments that I've read recently with him in it, he's more of a good guy than a bad guy now.
I was about to say because I'm reading some of the team affiliations here, and some of these teams are not bad guy teams. Yeah,
that last team, the Annihilators, like that's like, if you have that team on your side, then you're good. That's like Betty Ray Bill. I think Silver Surfer's on that team. Even Cosmo, the Russian space dog, is on that team.
He's the mascot.
That's the Nova's on that team.
Shit.
Quasar's on that team. Just a bunch of powerhouses.
Which Nova? Because we have that new kid Nova, right?
Oh, well.
Yeah, you mean actual adult Nova? The dad?
Well, Richard Rider. I mean,
Thank you.
The one,
okay. Yeah, the actual Nova. Thank you. Not to disrespect the child.
But yeah, so it's in. Well, I thought it was good that we saw Ronin here as a bad guy. I think that's more of his roots.
Right, yeah.
But,
disgruntled Kree.
Yeah, really disgruntled Kree. I was worried right from the get-go, though, because once we see Ronin, he kind of has that typical bad guy vibe, Yeah.
Like, he does that pouty lip a lot.
Well, I think that
the chin out.
They gave him makeup to look like he was pouting all the time.
I think, honestly, like, he did jut the chin out more, but the makeup only accentuated it more. So it really looked like he was like... Mm-hmm. Like jutting that chin out and really drooping them lips down. Kind of like, I don't know why I have to breathe in intensely. You guys just heard that a couple times, but you get my point. Yeah.
Right.
Anyways,
so let's fast forward here to Xandar when Peter Quill, he's on Xandar, which is the Nova Corps HQ.
Yeah.
And
he's the most normal looking place here.
Right.
Yeah.
He's trying to fence the orb off, and the broker's like, okay, wait a minute, what the shit is up with this thing? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Ronin wants this. Nah, bro, you got to take this shit somewhere else.
Exactly. Well, my pawn shop doesn't work for this.
Right.
Yeah.
And so Peter Quill, he gets kicked out of the shop and because he can't fence the orb, unfortunately. And then at that point, he runs into Gamora. And Gamora is playing the role of like the Black Widow here at this point, being kind of the seductress. And, she's kind of, trying to charm him up a little bit here. And then... which worked stupid easy for Peter Quill. Like, not even a minute in, and he's in. Right. But, before we get into, like, this next scene that's coming up here, as soon as we get to Xandar in the first place, there's Rocket, and he's talking shit about all the people on Xandar, basically. Look at this guy. What a jackass.
I know, right?
Just spiteful.
I know, right? And I think, like, one of the people he made fun of was Stan Lee cameo up on the bridge. Yeah.
Stan Lee was trying to spit game to somebody up there, and it was pretty interesting. Pretty interesting is what I was saying. But so then we get this really cool action scene here between there's Rocket and Groot, and then there's Gamora and Star-Lord here, and it's like a free for all. Like the only two working together, of course, is Groot and Rocket. Yeah. So this scene over here is like effectively the first time that we really see Rocket and Groot here in the movie. What are your thoughts on them at this point, seeing them for the first time?
Fun. I was really worried when I heard Bradley Cooper was doing the voice.
Really?
Yeah. Just because I've never heard him in this extent. Yeah. I've always seen him in like, Silver Lining Playbook or something like that, where I loved that movie, but it's like, oh, you're doing this guy? Yeah. But then I heard him in the trailer, and then I saw him in the scene, and it was kind of like, okay, this is actually pretty spot on cool. Right. Like, this is all right. I'm getting behind this quickly. Yeah. Rocket quickly became a fun character, and his interaction with Groot, they definitely went over the idea that there could even be a communication confusion for me, where it's like, oh, he only says I am Groot. Right. You get that even from the trailer. But at this point, it's like, I am Groot. Nah, I don't give a crap about that. You think they give a crap? I'm gonna shoot them if they do, or whatever the hell he's saying. You know, it was super fun to listen in and like, I am Groot. No, you do not guilt trip me. Like that whole one-sided, but we're kind of understanding the conversation nonetheless vibe that we get from them. You know, super fun. I loved it.
Yeah.
But this scene definitely was a great introduction into them.
Yeah,
and
I thought so too. You know,
poor Rocket's anger issues with like, no, get like a bigger evolved gun.
Right. Yeah, his guns were amazing here.
Yeah. The size of him.
Yeah, a little bit bigger maybe. So now what's really interesting here about the version of the Guardians that they're basing it off of is because pretty much all of these characters were introduced back in at least the 70s, all the 70s basically, maybe some even earlier. But what's interesting that the version of these characters, they're basing it all off of like the 2006 version and on forward. I think I may have mentioned this before, but like one of the first cosmic novels I ever read was back in 07, 08. It was the Annihilation arc, and that's when the Guardians really get their big comeuppance in the comic world. And it was really when we get to see them as they are now versus as they were beforehand. For example, Groot didn't always just say, I am Groot. He used to talk. He used to be a villain. He used to have, like full-fledged sentences and shit. But, when they revamped him, back like around 06 and they put him in the Guardians, made him a good guy and had it so that all he can say is, I am Groot. So that's an interesting tidbit.
Nice.
Yeah. Do you also know who Bradley Cooper based his performance of Rocket off of?
What? No. Oh, man. Actually, this actually reminds me of something. Like, I remember reading that somewhere. Remind me. Tell me the answer.
Yeah, he based it off of Joe Pesci in Goodfellas.
That's right. Yeah. I do remember reading that, actually.
Yeah, which was super fitting because I actually just watched that movie like a week ago.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of coincidental. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty coincidental, but yeah, I was like, I totally see it.
I remember you told me you watched it.
Yeah, it's like, I absolutely see that. But yeah, I thought it was a really fun scene here. Because we really get to see these guys for the first time interact, and of course they're trying to beat the shit out of each other. Gamora even chops off Groot's arms. Like shit. It's a good thing you have no nerve endings.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just twig endings.
Yeah.
But
they get promptly abducted by the Nova Corps and put into where they get arrested basically, and they're sent to prison. And we get this scene here where Commander Day, played by John C. Reilly,
which again, fun choice for that. That dude is pretty funny.
Yeah, he's extremely funny, and he was a very good choice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was also interesting that they got Glenn Close to play like the commander over the Nova Corps. And I was like, because like I didn't think that this was going to be her choice of movie to be in, But I guess once again, barely anyone turns down a Marvel movie, so
that's true.
Yeah, but yeah, we're at this point. They really tell us more about the characters. Without breaking the fourth wall, they're like, this is Rocket Raccoon. He's known for doing this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
And this guy, yeah.
I loved this part in the trailer because they did show us a bit of this actual scene where they're like breaking down the characters.
Yeah.
And all you see is like Chris Pratt. Oh, what's this machine do?
Yeah, winding up the middle finger. Yeah.
That was cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so the next really big set piece we get here is the whole prison scene, which was pretty fun. There's the Nathan Fillion cameo. He's the big blue alien that gets taken down by Groot pretty easily. As Rocket proclaims Gamora his to take in. He's kind of protecting Gamora, but really he's looking for the bounty on Gamora's head because everyone in the prison is after Gamora because they know that she works for Ronan and Thanos, and a lot of them were I guess in there partially due to her and her affiliation with that crew.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of like when a cop gets arrested,
Right. Yeah. Kind of the same thing. But my thing is that Ronan and these people are shitty people. Like, I don't see them arresting anyone.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. My next note I have in here is that they have some really shitty sleeping arrangements.
They really do. Like, all right, guys, go pit up.
Yeah.
Like, and everyone's just like slobbers and climbs all over each other. Right. It's like, all right, I guess I'll go to sleep now. Got some guy's armpit right over my nose. But I don't care.
There's no cot. There's no blanket. There's no pillow.
Off-world prisons.
You just get you don't even get space. You just get a room that all of you go to lay in.
Can you imagine how hot that would get?
Oh,
like, how
man.
uncomfortable.
I don't think you get any sleep. There's no way.
I would never.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd never trust that. Like,
yeah, no one can sleep in those conditions except for those guys.
And you know what? Thinking about it, I don't want to overanalyze this, but I'm going to overanalyze this. I wouldn't imagine if getting in the room first would be better or getting in the room last. Because you get in the room first and get a comfortable spot in the corner, that just means you're going to be under everybody. Like, people are going to daggum pile on top of you, and you're going to be like at the bottom of the ball pit, you know? Like, all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's like I'm in Chuck E. Cheese and there's this huge ball pit. Oh shit, now I'm drowning in all these little plastic balls.
Right.
But anyways, like I said, I'm overanalyzing. But no, screw that place, man. Break out of it.
So the next really cool scene here we get is Peter Quill. You know, he doesn't really wake up because he's not sleeping, but he sees some prisoners taking Gamora somewhere, and then he promptly gets up and sees what's happening, and then Rocket abruptly follows him. But before any of them get there, Drax stops the prisoners from doing anything. I don't think the prisoners could do anything anyway. I think Gamora was just kind of holding her cards close to her chest to see what the prisoners were talking about.
Right,
I think because she could have easily dealt with any of these guys here.
That's the thing. Any of them really could have. Yeah.
You know, oddly enough, the one questionable one would be Peter Quill.
You know, he would. I still have faith in him that he'd win in the end, but he would definitely have more of a scrap than the others.
Oh yeah.
Like Drax, Gamora, done, no problem.
Yeah.
Bets on them. Peter Quill,
Right.
Let me wait till a few more cards are drawn, and then I'll place a bet. Yeah.
Right. We get Dave Bautista here as Drax the Destroyer, and
again, fun choice.
I would not
imagine that.
He was a great choice.
Oh yeah.
Of course, physically he fits the bill because he's a big man.
Right.
I mean,
you're very familiar with him thanks to the wrestling world and how he was there previously.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, it's funny because people are like, man, Batista's huge. That guy's jacked. I'm like, if you guys seen him when he was ever in the WWE, like he was literally twice as big there. Like, it's ridiculous how big this man used to be, but he purposely slimmed down and tried to lose a lot of his muscle mass to get more roles. But he's still so big that they cast him in like the big muscle guy roles. I'm like, there's just no way you're losing all that.
Exactly. Like, nah.
Yeah.
You have a weird problem, but nah.
But he's great here, man. Like, I even have it written down in my notes here. Drax is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I really love Dave Bautista here. Like, this is his role.
These characters were easy to fall in love with, but I remember reading in numerous sources for different reasons why so many people quickly fell in love with Drax for his fun, super dry sense of humor and how it contrasted perfectly with the rest of the crew. In fact, there was even one article I read, and people correct me if I'm spinning these words incorrectly, but there was an article I read where there was actually a large population of diagnosed autistic children falling in love with Drax because they saw a relation in Drax, where they had a hard time with things like the metaphors and the similes, kind of like Drax did. Everything was so
sarcasm.
literal. Exactly, yeah. And they saw that side of themselves in him, and so a lot of people were noticing like that was a widespread thing just happening across the country whenever kids with this diagnostic problem would see Drax on screen. Then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what? That's awesome. Yeah, he's my favorite now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool as hell.
Super fun. And it's like, oh, that's hell yeah.
Yeah, that's cool as hell. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's super cool. But yeah, like, that's... I mean, shit. Fortunately, I'm not
right.
autistic,
Fortunately, we don't share that issue,
right? But I kind of fell in love with him for the same reasons. Yeah.
Plus,
it's great because he's not in on the joke. You know what I mean? Like that. That's the great thing about it. He doesn't see. He doesn't see the humor in it, but he's the cause of the humor.
Yeah.
Like, and that's witty. That's clever writing.
I am not a princess.
Yeah, I am not a princess. Like, that's what you took from that. Yeah.
I know, right?
I mean, he's
Why would I slide my finger across his throat?
No,
that's a universal. Come on, join me. Yeah, that's a universal sign.
Yeah, I would not slit his throat. I would cut his head off. Okay, it's a sign for murder. Okay.
I loved how even at the end of that, even through like his very technical understanding of language, he was still at the same time very intimidating. Like holding up the knife, I'm keeping this. Well, that was my favorite knife.
Right.
You know, like I loved it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I really do love what they did with Drax here. So, for the sake of the movie, they had it so that Ronan was the one that killed his family. And so his whole vendetta was against Ronan. And for the sake of the movie, that does make a lot of sense. You know, because you have to have some reason why Drax will want to go up against this person, because the way that this character is, like, he's very mission focused, you know, very, very goal oriented. And if it's not a part of his purpose, then he really doesn't care.
Right.
So I thought it made a lot of sense to have Ronan be the one that killed his family here.
I really just hope that doesn't mean they're altering, you know, the ending of Thanos in any regard either, because I do feel like I still want our boy Drax to get that, you know?
Right.
That needs to be his head count.
Yeah. And,
almost literally.
You know, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, we'll talk about this a little bit later when we get there. But,
right.
You know, at the end of the movie, he talks about how Ronan was just a puppet. Thanos is who he's really after.
Good.
And, you know, he seems to have kind of lost that focus throughout Guardians 2. But, I mean, obviously, he has to have that focus back for Infinity War. Now, what's really interesting about Drax is that his origin in the comics is comically ridiculous. Because
was that a pun? I can't decide if that was a pun.
It was not meant to be. No, it was not
Please
meant to
continue.
be.
Yeah.
So there's a man named Arthur Douglas. Okay, and his family was killed by Thanos. Thanos, I think, like had used a starship to kill his family. And this Arthur Douglas, he sought vengeance for his family and for, you know, because his family was killed. Then this being named Kronos comes into play, and this being named Kronos takes Arthur Douglas's soul and puts it into a body capable of doing battle with Thanos, and that creates Drax the Destroyer.
What?
Yeah.
That's some weird shit.
That's some weird shit, right?
Some weird shit. Yeah. Arthur Douglas. Oh, you're Drax now. Good luck.
Right. That's essentially what it was. And you know, originally, it's funny because I was reading a lot of old comics. This was a few months ago, back when I was reading all those damn Thanos comics.
Sure.
And there was this guy who was in the comics. I was like, this guy seems a lot like Drax, but not really. And then I realized it was Drax. They just kept referring to him as simply the Destroyer. Just the Destroyer. That's all they would call him.
Sure.
But it was Drax. And the reason why it was so off-putting is because Drax's power set has changed over the years.
Really?
He used to be way stronger.
Okay.
He used to be able to fly. And he used to be able to shoot energy blasts from his hands.
That would have been excessive. Like, damn. You are the guardian of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Singular.
Yeah. And this was back, I think, before he was even placed in the Guardians. Yeah, back when he was just, Oh, shit.
What the hell was that?
What was that?
I don't know. Okay, that might have been one of the phones, I guess. But anyways.
Jeez. I wonder which one of us left our phone on the table.
Well, shoot. I normally always do. I got this new phone recently. I'm still trying to figure this thing out. Friggin' stupid upgrades. That aside, though. Yeah.
So, that's just some weird, interesting differences that they've done with him over the years. And, of course, he got overhauled in 2006, just like the rest of the lineup for Guardians. And, so when they overhauled him, they said, okay, let's take away the fly. Let's take away the energy manipulation. Let's kind of scale down his strength some, and we're going to put him in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
So basically make him a really tough alien.
Basically, yeah. I mean, he still has his, his durability and his resilience and his combat skills, but a lot of the, I mean, because you can't have like this one superpower person in a team, because he just stands out.
Right.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Peter Quill's like, all right, let me be the half human being who flies up with my gear. Oh, you already blasted him to death, Drax. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's looking at you, Superman.
What do you know?
But back to the story here. Go back to the movie. That is the next part we get here is Ronan. We see him stand before Thanos, and this is a really big scene, especially at the time, because this is basically the first moment where we see Thanos full on and we hear him speak.
Actually, this was the first moment we ever saw him in the actual movie and not in a cutscene.
Right.
You know? Yeah, for sure. Just making sure I'm fact checking myself. No, that's true.
Yeah, this was it. And I thought this was
angrily sitting in a chair.
He was very angry sitting in that chair, and he kind of puts Ronan in his place and tells him, and get my damn gem. I want my gem, or they call it stones. I want my stone. Give me my damn stone. Yeah. But yeah, this was great. I thought, just because whoa, not only are they giving us Thanos, but it's in the middle of the movie. So I thought that was really cool. I think that was a really bold decision made, because it could have gone one or two ways. Mostly worked out well, and I think that's what they were looking for, obviously. But it could have backfired, and it could have been well, shit, they've moved on, but I want more Thanos.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
Luckily, it didn't do that at all, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's because interestingly.
Yeah, it's because the characters are so interesting, because our main characters here, their journey is so fun, and all of them are so interesting, and we want to see more of them.
Right.
That fortunately that took away from our desire to see more of Thanos at this time. Yeah.
And it did serve the purpose of what you would expect from a cutscene. It was our mid-movie cutscene almost, where it's oh, this guy is still a big threat. Oh, he's still making plans and actions towards fulfilling those plans. Ooh, and here's the story.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been a while since we've seen our villain Ronan either, so it was...
True, it was appropriate timing.
Yeah, it was what we needed. Next thing we get here is the prison break scene, and I thought this was great, because... Yeah, because Rocket, he's gathering Drax and Gamora and Peter all at the table, and, they're talking about the things they need to do in order to escape, and, they come up with a reason to work together, to take this orb and get the bounty, and then, they'll take... Drax to go kill Ronan. Everyone gets what they want.
Right.
And Rocket, he's explaining this plan, and
I need this, I need this, I need this part, and I need that guy's leg.
That guy's leg, and I need something from that circuit box.
Right.
Thing.
Yeah, pointing up to it on the high wall.
Yeah, but I definitely need that thing last. as Groot
continues to walk over in the background. Gross.
Yeah.
And no, that's right. Drax wasn't at the table yet.
He
because
wasn't.
He's walking up. He's looking up at Groot, just with his lunch tray. Just
that's right.
I was looking up. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was still pretty fun though. So yeah, let's not overlook Vin Diesel's portrayal here as Groot, because it's easy to look at him and just say all he did was say "I am Groot."
That's kind of hard to
really
do
hard.
in a vocal artist sense.
Yeah, first of all, he recorded wearing stilts.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I never read that. I never heard that.
Yeah, I've seen a video of him doing it. He was walking on the spring stilts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he would walk in on them. They had an elevated recording booth for him.
Okay.
And for every time you hear him say "I am Groot" in the movie, he literally did it hundreds of times for that one time. Yeah. And if you listen to Guardians of the Galaxy, or if you watch the movie and with a dubbed version, in Spanish or any other version, that's still Vin Diesel.
That makes me happy, actually. That's super good that they crossed that over.
Right. Vin Diesel, I think he did more than earn his paycheck here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And
damn.
and I feel sorry for the guy who had to narrow all that shit down. Okay, out of these 500 takes, these are the top 5, and now we need to find the one that fits here the most. And
right. Yeah.
So there's literally probably hours of Vin Diesel saying "I am Groot" that has never been used.
Listen. Okay, those all suck. Listen. Okay, he did pretty good there. Put those aside. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that'd be incredibly trivial.
Right.
Yeah. No. But I did not know he did that in stilts. I knew he recorded that many times. I never heard that he was up on freaking spring stilts. Like, okay, let me get the Groot height here.
Yeah.
Which, that's cool. I wonder what their reasoning behind it was, because I'm just kind of filling in the gap with my own thought process here.
I think.
Did you hear that?
Well, no, they didn't really explain why, but I guess my thought was that it just makes him feel more of the part. You know what I mean?
For sure. It kind of, I would say it also gives him like an easier grip mentally on what he's trying to portray, because it's hard to pretend to be a tree when you're touching 6 feet. You need to be at least 8+ or something like that. And I'm sure that's what the stilts are doing,
probably,
in that regard. But anyways,
so he probably did not use them for Guardians 2.
Yeah. In Guardians 2. Oh shit! Oh gosh, they put him in a baby chair the whole time. Like he's just sitting there trying to fit. Like, damn it, son of a dick! I missed the stilts.
So my next note in here I have is that this movie still really makes me laugh, and it does have a lot of character appropriate humor. And this movie really does, man. Like the humor in it holds up even now. Yeah, and I think that's really great.
I mean, the chemistry between these different characters and also these different actors, it was super on par. I mean, for instance, after Groot steals the ultimatum part, the one it's like, oh, I need that last. Oh shit, I got it first. Okay, we're doing this now. Yep. And they're in that little booth up there, the watch point. Mm-hmm. I love that little short scene where they're all kind of like trading dialogue off, and it's like, I'm surrounded by idiots, And it was super fun.
It was
like, oh gosh, I can't stop laughing.
Yeah, it was great,
especially for the first time.
Right? Yeah, and even watching it again, like I think it was like my 3rd or 4th time watching it yesterday, and it was
still laugh.
Yeah, it was still funny.
Yeah,
and that's how you know it's good. Like even when you know the punchline, the joke is still funny. Mm-hmm. And I really already love seeing the team dynamic here. Like seeing all these guys interact with one another, seeing them together was just really good. And it really helped the movie a lot. Yeah. This is what the movie needed. Let's see, moving on here. Yeah, the music works really well. We talked a little bit already about the music here in this movie. And the thing here about the music though is that it's not overbearing, but it definitely lets you know it's there. Like there's some of the soundtrack is like playing like almost an undertone.
Right, more in the background.
Right.
Like which song was it? I knew Moon Age Daydream was more like a song for the ship like floating through the space, but then we quickly get out of it. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, okay, that was short-lived. Yeah. But anyways.
That's a good example. Yeah. So, the next scene that we get here is that the Yondu, he goes to the broker, and this is for the first time they really see that whistle in action. He just kind of calls it forth and then holds it at the broker's head, so the broker can give Yondu the information he's looking for.
Heaven forbid he had a whole quiver of those.
Right. Yeah.
Like, well, damn.
And Yondu was just appropriately ridiculous for the scene. It's because yeah, exactly. And the broker was almost like Drax. He just didn't get it, and so the broker was just trying to tell him. And then every time,
I wonder how many takes they had to do of that scene. I bet you Michael just did that randomly, and the character at first was like, started just breaking out in laughter. It's like, okay, start over. I'm gonna keep doing that.
Yeah,
I'd love.
Oh yeah, and we can't also forget that his right hand man, what's his name? Starts with a K. I forget what his name is.
I don't remember. It was played by
James Gunn's brother. Yeah.
Exactly,
Sean Gunn.
Interesting fact. He was also Rocket Raccoon.
He was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. A lot of people did not know that, and I was just like, what?
Yep.
Go for props for being the director's brother.
Yeah. So at this point, they go to the collector's base, or the movie takes us to the collector's base, and here we see Benicio del Toro, and he's great. He's great. The first time we actually see him as the collector was at the end of Thor 2, when Sif goes to I think it was Sif and one of the other Warriors 3. They go to take the other stone.
Yeah, the big
which one
with
was
the beard. Sif and the bearded one.
Oh yeah, not Grim Hogan. Shit, I forgot his name. It's gonna come to me like 5 minutes later. So,
I know, right?
So I'll fill you guys in like 5 minutes from now.
This one scene I really enjoyed. Oh, that was his name. Oh, okay.
That's usually how it works.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so at this point, he already has at least one, you know. And so now we see the Collector again.
What the shit?
What was that?
Are we going to bed? Was that your phone?
That was mine that time.
Hey, we both did it. I'm not even mad.
Oh shit! But
all right.
Yeah, anyway, so we see Benicio del Toro here, but this time we actually get to see him in the role and not just kind of cameo appearance.
Yeah.
Like at the end of The Dark World. What you think of Benicio here?
Dude, again, just like in the cutscene, he picked up the part perfectly well. I mean,
I thought so.
Yeah, no, there wasn't much transition over from the short cutscene that we got of him to this theatrical, overabundant type of personality where it was very, very like flamboyantly dressed in this really creepy dungeon-esque room of just random junk in glass cases and random like enslaved beings.
Yeah,
you know, he definitely played like something from more Tim Burton's mindset. You know, like. Literally, James Gunn said, "Hey Tim, come on down. I need your help with a set piece here. Does this look creepy enough?" You know,
it wasn't quite gothic enough to fit Tim Burton.
Tim Burton would have said, "Okay, one, put a few purple lights in the background, make this a whole lot more creepier.
Right.
Put Jack Skellington in one of the glass cases in the very obscure back, like you did with Howard the Duck here. Yeah, no, but no. But no, nonetheless." Dude, Del Toro was the bomb as the Collector. Just like appropriately charming and creepy all in the same sentence.
Right. I agree. And you know, like the thing of it is like Benicio del Toro, he's such a great actor that like I really wanted him in like a different role in the MCU. But you know, at the same time, I take what I can get.
And he's good enough that he could have done it. You know? For sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, damn.
Yeah, so the next thing that we get here is that the Guardians, they go to nowhere, which in retrospect sounds really strange.
I know, right? I mean, out of context, that's like, okay.
Right.
It's like, Courage the Cowardly Dog. They lived out in nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
that
true.
was like the home base.
Yeah. But here, you know, they're just kind of hanging out until they can finally meet with the Collector and fence off this orb.
Yeah.
But the Collector, you know, he's hardballing them. He's making them wait, you know, just kind of showing them who has the power in this situation. And they're like, well, shit, what do we do now? And then, like, it goes to the next scene, and then they're drunk. And by they, I mean Drax and Rocket. Who knows? Maybe even Groot.
Maybe. Can trees get drunk?
Well, he's a humanoid tree, so the human part of him.
Yes. We'll have to ask Seth Lee, but then we'll have to make sure he still remembers it.
Stan Lee?
Stan Lee. Who's Seth Lee?
I have no idea.
Hey, Seth, how you doing? But no, to some random fan out there who probably is Seth, maybe Seth Lee. But no, Stan Lee, we'll, have to ask him, but only after reminding him that he did make this character.
Right.
Yeah.
Volstagg, the name of the other guard, the name of the other...
What the shit?
The name of the bearded...
See, that was almost to the T, dude. 5 almost minutes right there. Like, I'm both impressed and just, like, shaking my head right now. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Anywho.
Yep. Anyways. So they're getting towed up. Drax is drunk, Rocket is drunk. They're gambling on like some kind of, I don't know, baby alien fighting. I don't know what that is.
Basically, I don't know. It kind of looked like
because like one of the little alien pet things ate the other one.
Yeah,
and
almost like a chicken fight,
right?
But space chickens, that eat each other,
right?
Yeah, or that are capable of just like eating each other.
Yeah, like shouldn't these things be like in cages? I don't want to be around them.
I know, right? Like, what if you actually get one that wins successful times in a row, and all of a sudden he grows because of it, and he can eat like a small alien?
Then you gotta put him down.
Exactly. In that case, he has to retire.
Gotta retire. Yep.
Quote unquote. He said with
In the meantime, Peter is showing Gamora all about Footloose and Kevin Bacon, and he's trying to
pelvic sorcery.
his pelvic sorcery. He's trying to put the moves on it here. What do you think about this little will they won't they romance type deal?
It's cool. I mean, I did have a problem with it because now in retrospect, I am aware that Gamora, she does have a relation with humans. Her and Tony Stark, for instance.
Yeah.
What do you know? No big surprise from Tony. So it's no surprise looking back on it now that she would have done that.
Right.
Had she, I don't know, the desire, I guess, whatever, fill in the blanks. But with her and Peter, I mean, you can kind of see it happening.
Right.
You can. It was almost an expectancy for this scene to just come up eventually, where it's like, oh, the wannabe romance, the hopeful Peter trying to hit on the cute girl, be her green or not type thing. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't mind it, but I also didn't think it was necessary.
I mean, that's true. It definitely wasn't necessary. It was fun as well, though. It kind of, like you said earlier, it did help kind of pull us away from the constant jokes and whatnot. It kind of took our mind off of the story for a second, which was a little refreshing. Yeah. Especially how I was able to pull out an awesome song for the soundtrack, talking about some... No, that wasn't Pina Coladas. Which song was it? Help me remember.
Wasn't this Fooled Around and Fell in Love?
That's the one. Yeah. That's the one. Go you.
Hey,
but no, of course he would choose that song. Yeah. Friggin' Peter. But,
I thought that, I mean, once again, like I said, I didn't mind it, just... Didn't think it was wholly necessary, but I understand why they put it in. It's just one of those things that kind of became. It's now like an expectancy in a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It's like okay,
like we have to have romance. Okay, how we can put it in?
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like I don't know, that's gonna be something we're gonna have to talk about one day. Like how many Marvel movies have romances in them?
Easier question. How many don't?
How many don't? Yeah, that would be an easier question. Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Oh shit. Wait a minute. Let me think.
I know, right? I'm thinking too.
I didn't mean for this to come up.
Okay. Iron Man, check. Captain, check. Thor, check. Shit. Hulk, check. No, check.
Doctor Strange, check.
No, check.
Do they all? What you got?
Avengers 2?
You know what? The Avengers don't focus on romance. Those are the exceptions.
No. Avengers 2 had like a weird pseudo-romance between Black Widow and Hulk.
Damn it, you're right.
Yeah. Okay,
Avengers.
Right. Avengers 1.
Avengers 1. Yep. I mean, not unless we count the Tony and Pepper.
I mean that was already an established romance. More like a, the commissioner and his wife type thing. Or what about the pseudo vibes between Black Widow and Hawkeye, where it's kind of like confusing the audience almost a little bit. Like, it was kind of there. Yeah. Shit, dude. This is a hard game to play. Like, there might not be a right answer. Yeah. But, no, I can't think of... If you guys can think of one, please leave a comment or email or something.
Right. An MCU movie that does not have, like, a focused romance in it. Huh.
That's real life, not cartoon.
Yeah.
Let's specify, just in case. Not that I can think of any out there like that.
Yeah, I got nothing, man.
No.
Shit, I don't know what that. Shit, I don't know what that means or what that says.
It does say something. We have to fine tune and like narrow down and how decide how to say it, but it does say something. Shit, you know what? Let's broaden the horizon, and maybe we should do a podcast episode about this. But which comic movie, in general, any of them, doesn't have a romance story? Because I can think of so many that do. But it's like, which one is the exception? Like
that is very true.
Maybe a Batman movie.
No,
none of them. Not even the Christian Bale lineup.
No, first one was Richard Dawes. Second one was Richard Dawes. Third one was Richard Dawes and Selena Kyle.
Well, screw me.
Yeah. Shit. Anyways, let's get back to this is gonna drive us crazy.
This seriously might have to be a future podcast episode, but for now, let's try to get back on track with Guardians for like the umpteenth time.
Yeah. So we just got done talking about the pelvic sorcery.
Great lead-in. Yeah. Great riveting lead-in.
So I have here that this movie, it does put in something like, like I said, I didn't dislike the little romance scene between Gamora and Peter, but it also wasn't my favorite. But then James Gunn, he immediately makes up for the next scene here. The Gamora and Peter, they rush back inside, and Drax and Rocket are about to just go at it. Matter of fact, Drax is literally beating the wood off of Groot. Yeah. And then But then, like, after they break up the fight and all that, Peter's like, well, what are you doing? Like, no one of you guys don't have any friends because, you can't. Right. You can't even.
You keep trying to kill everybody. Yeah.
And then we hear, like, in this drunken, angry stupor, we hear Rocket, almost kind of break down about his personal struggles.
Right. Like, why he got so angry. He called him, like, how do you say
vermin.
It? Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He called me vermin. Yeah. And but I thought that was a really good scene though. I thought
it was, dude,
yeah. I thought that it had a lot of emotion behind it. Coming from a CGI raccoon, and
until that was said.
But no, I thought that it was necessary. I mean, because. we were talking earlier about how your parents really didn't like.
Yeah. Okay. So let me fill you guys and gals in. So here's the deal. I was having dinner with my mom before deciding to break on over and come do this, and that's good to do every once in a while. You guys, if you're not with your parents, do the same thing. But anywho, I was chilling with her and I was telling her, I'm gonna be doing a podcast about Guardians of the Galaxy later on, and she's like, oh yeah. Kevin, truthfully, your dad and I did not like that movie. And Q and I were also talking about how just astoundingly off that sounded. Like, really? You didn't? Oh. Because it's a popular opinion that the movie was pretty awesome and most people liked it, and that's, I'm still going to say that's safe to say. So when she was telling me all this, and I was like, kind of like, well, why?
Yeah.
Her reasoning literally was, I couldn't get behind the raccoon. Why could he talk? He was a raccoon. Well, it's like, yeah. Out of context, it's like, okay, that's kind of random and weird, sure, but it's
The reason I mentioned that whole thing, though, is because I feel that had they paid more attention to this scene here, I think that they would have gotten a little bit more. Right. Because this was a powerful scene that had a lot packed into it.
It explains the scene earlier when we see Rocket trying to change into jail clothes. And we got, see all the scars on the back.
All the scars and cybernetic implants in them, we see that there. To be fair, the movie doesn't go a lot into it about Rocket's origin, but it really doesn't talk about any of their origins.
It didn't need to,
No.
So hearing my mom say that was equally comical and just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you guys go.
Right. Well, I just thought that this scene right here really kind of makes up for that jarring impact of seeing a talking raccoon, especially if you don't really know what you're in for, because he goes in this drunken stupor about, I didn't ask to be made like this. I didn't ask for them to, to do all those weird things they did to me, whatever. Yeah. And it's true, he didn't.
Right. He couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go ahead and move on here. So. Of course, at this point, they actually do meet with the Collector, and we see Cosmo, the Russian space dog, here.
Yep.
And this is for the first time in the movie that the orb is actually opened up, and we see the Power Stone, the Power Gem inside there.
Yeah.
And the Collector's like, oh shit, you guys really don't know what you have here.
Yeah.
And before any deal is finalized or anything, one of his slave women.
Right. Whatever she was, the assistant, quote unquote. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess she got fed up with his shit.
I mean, she saw like her a sister kind of hers, just like encaged the same way, if not her freaking twin. You know,
something. Yeah. She grabs the ore. I mean, the stone in an attempt to stop the collector and stop all the bullshit that he's been doing. She was tired of it all, and
like he needed a second stone reminding to the audience.
Yeah. And at this point, she realized that she done fucked up, because the
that is a way of putting it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
As she evaporated.
Yeah, the stem. Jeez, I fused stone and gem to make stem.
Oh, that's why. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, the gem, like, I mean, that's the thing, MCU. Why can't you just call them gems, damn it? They call it gems in the comics. Now I'm getting all confused and tongue twisted because y'all want to call them stones.
Before you know it, they'll be called rocks.
And then marbles.
Because someone's going to make them round.
But anyways, yeah, she grabs a hold of that gem and she didn't have a good day after that. She didn't have any more days after that because it like I said, she evaporates. Like, if you guys seen X3, I know that's a terrible movie. I hate to bring it up.
I was about to say, why are we doing this?
But if you remember the part when Professor X died in that's exactly what it looks like here.
Oh, that's right. He was levitated.
Yeah. And then just...
Literally just like that.
Oh, yeah. He farted on the way out and everything. Yeah. But the collector's base is completely destroyed. And, you know, they're able to re-encase the orb inside this casing. And they're like, oh, shit. And, you know, once they get out, they're like, okay, well, that didn't work. We're still stuck with the orb. We're still poor. And now we know that this thing is a dangerous weapon.
Right.
And then shit goes from bad to worse because Drax, in a drunken stupor, has called Ronan, told them exactly where they're at. I'm like, that's damn it, right. Drax.
He's just like, what are we waiting for? Let's kill him now.
Yeah, let's do it now. So to make this, to go ahead and get along with this here, Rocket and Star-Lord, they get into like these little
they were
like mining ships, with no weapons, and they're trying to take out some of Ronan's men. And while Ronan himself touches down, Drax is standing right in front of him. Like, you know, Drax standing right in front of Ronan, and then Ronan just ignoring him. That's literally would be like me standing in front of Robert Downey Jr. as Robert's coming down the walkway, and I'm like, Robert, give me your autograph, man. Come on, me and you can be bros, we can be best friends. And then, like, you guys can imagine what would happen. I mean, there's a good chance that Robert would probably walk right the fuck past me and then not even notice I'm there. That's kind of what happens here. Except the difference is, I think that I could beat Robert Downey Jr. in a fight. Drax...
Okay, whoa, okay, this all of a sudden took a turn.
Well, because Drax could not obviously beat beat Ronan.
That's true. Ronan could not do that.
Drax could not do that. Yeah.
In RDJ's defense, though, and yes, I did abbreviate that.
What, his martial arts classes? His little Taibo?
Oh, no, I wasn't going to go that way at all. I was going to say, he actually seems like the type of dude that would have interacted with his fan. Be like, hey, what's going on, man? Let's take a picture.
Yeah.
You know, he seems like that kind.
He probably would.
Yeah.
Probably would.
Especially if you catch him on a good day.
Yeah. Who knows? But in this instance, he did not.
In this instance, it was a bad day.
It was a bad day. Yeah.
And you were that desperate for that RDJ attention, just like, give me an autograph, and then just fought him.
Yeah, and then just fight him, now keep in mind, I would only do that with certain actors. I do it with Robert Downey Jr. because I think I could take him in a fight. He's like 50 years old and like my height, and I could take him. Now, just looking around the room here, I would not do that with John Bernthal because I think that guy...
No, I think he bust your eyeballs. Yes, I admit that is the reference. I wouldn't want to fight Matt Murdock either. I think actual Charlie Cox I could take on. You know, I'm confident in that.
Yeah, I could definitely take on Charlie Cox. He's such a sweet guy that I wouldn't want to.
Exactly, he's a cool British dude, and yes, he's British people. And it's like I wouldn't want to fight you, bro. Right. I don't want to go for Team Crumpets either, though.
Chris Hemsworth, nope. Would not pick a fight with that man.
Nope.
Chris Evans probably also no.
No, I'd say no to that.
He's from Boston. I don't want him. I don't want any of that. I think he's from Boston.
Is he actually?
I think he's from Boston.
Him confused with actual Steve Rogers?
Steve Rogers is from Brooklyn.
Yeah. Never mind. In either case, yeah. No, I'm good, bro.
Yeah. Hugh Jackman.
Oh, hell no. Are you kidding me? No.
I'll fight Hugh Jackman.
No, dude.
This podcast took a weird turn.
No, right?
Oh, who you pointing at? Benedict Cumberbatch?
Yeah,
I'd totally fight him.
I'd fight him, too. I'd take him down.
Yeah.
Impressions and all.
Oh, yeah. Take him down.
Oh, yeah. Mark Hamill.
Oh, I'm looking at Aquaman. I would not fight Jason Momoa.
No, hell no.
Shit. I will fight. I think I'll fight I'll fight John Bernthal before I fight Jason Momoa.
That's true. Same here. Yeah. I'd rather take a lost John Bernthal than take a Jason Momoa loss. I would video all that. I would video all of this. Who am I kidding? Any last ones before we go? I said Mark Hamill already.
What about Ben Affleck? Would you fight Ben Affleck?
Yes, I would. I would greatly fight Ben Affleck.
You would fight 6'4" Ben Affleck?
Yes.
You're brave.
I would. Yes. Indeed. Would you?
I don't know.
Come on, man. If I'm feeling like I could take him on.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think you can take him.
I think I could.
Because I don't think I could take him.
I think I could take him. No, Henry Cavill, I do not have any faith in myself for that. At that point, I'd be like, nah, bruh, we good.
Yeah.
I don't even think I could take Gal Gadot on, man. I'd be like, no, I just can't do this. Wait a minute, did I mispronounce your last name? I always second guess myself.
No, it's Gadot.
It is Gadot.
Yeah. I mean, Kevin, honestly, man, I think that Tom Holland could take you. So,
man, you shut the hell up, son. You shut the hell up. First off, we'd get in a fight, and then I'd be friends with Tom Holland, and I don't know, we'd go play pool. Damn it,
we gotta wrap this thing up here.
We do.
But yeah,
we're only in the middle of
we were talking about because Drax is getting his ass whipped by Ronan.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's a colossal ass whooping. And meanwhile, like we get this weird scene here. I call it weird. It was meant to be super impactful and emotional, but to me, every time I see it, it comes off as weird. The scene where Gamora, she's floating in space and slowly dying. And then Star-Lord, he leaves his ship and he goes off to save her. And then he puts his helmet on her so she can breathe. And, you know, and then we see like the Ravagers come up and you know, abduct the both of them. Right. But, you know, that whole scene right that's supposed to be like super, you know, I guess.
Yeah, kind of like a new character side of our boy is being shown. And you're just kind of like, oh, okay, wow, that he's supposed to be the super... Right. Deep down, he's a thoughtful person, you know? Yeah, it was that whole ordeal. I
don't know. To me,
that didn't play well with you?
No, I mean, to me, it just felt like, okay, like you've known all these people for, if I'm being generous, maybe a week at the most. And now you're willing to die.
Well, maybe he had a Good Samaritan syndrome, you know? Come on, man.
No, not buying it. So,
okay.
Not at all.
That reminds me. Have you seen the trailer for Bad Samaritan? We need to watch it later on. Indeed.
Yeah. Okay.
Super interesting. Let's continue.
Yeah. But yeah, and then on top of that, I was like, I don't know the atmosphere for the planet Nowhere. And I know that you're like half alien of some sort here.
But things need to breathe.
Things need to breathe.
Yes.
So yeah, like the whole thing was just a little wonky for me here. It's like if they had done something similar in the second movie instead, I would have bought it. That gives more time for their relationship to breathe.
Sure, okay.
You know, it was just like, all right. But anyway, so yeah, they get abducted by the Ravagers, and eventually he's able to convince them, like, look. She knows where the orb is at,
right.
And we can get you guys to the orb. We can take Ronan down and get the orb for you. And Ravagers, they go for it. Yeah. They want money and all that. After they threaten to eat him again, and then Peter finally calls him out on that bullshit. Who threatens to eat another person?
You just
That's
don't
not normal.
do that. Yeah. You don't congratulate yourself for not eating someone on a day.
Yeah.
He had a great rebuttal for that.
He did. Yeah. So at this point, Ronan does have the orb now, because Drax's dumbass plan backfired, and at this point, Ronan he turns on Thanos like, nope, you will call me boy no more. Peace out. I'm taking your stone.
Yep. Simple as that.
Those were the exact words he used. And then I have just this random question here, but that's because this thought popped into my head randomly as I was watching the movie. Is there any specific reason why Peter hasn't gone back to Earth?
Maybe there's just nothing left for him there. Like, why at this point? Just to solve some curiosities? I mean, he's made home in space. So it's like... I mean, come on, man. Yeah, the Ravengers kind of became his home. Yondu said it best. He may have been your father, but he ain't your daddy.
Yeah. You know? And that's some bullshit. We'll get to it with Guardians too.
Oh, come on. That was kind of cool.
I know the line was cool, but once again, what has led us as an audience to believe that Yondu was ever really that good to Peter?
Maybe a random cutscene or something in the middle of the movie. Because I thought there was one scene where like we see almost teenage Peter. I don't have to watch the movie.
Yeah,
I would. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I digress. Let's stay present.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Damn, we're getting off subject. This might be a record.
It might be. Yeah. It's close. It's close.
Which I can't tell if that's a good or a bad one. But let's continue.
Probably a bad thing. Definitely a bad thing.
A fun thing.
Yeah. So Rocket and Groot. No, Rocket, Groot, and Drax. They threatened to blow up the ship with the Ravengers on it. Yeah. Thankfully, it doesn't come to that. The team regroups up, then they have this massive pep talk, which I think mostly for the worst part works pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, and then they all suit up for the climax of the movie here, and we get this epic space fight scene here, and so basically their plan is to contact the Nova Corps, let them know that, look,
there's a problem bigger than all of us. It's happening now.
Yeah, the Kree, specifically Ronan, is coming your way. He said, fuck the peace treaty. I'm coming, and I'm going to kill all y'all. And
you're doing a really good job of paraphrasing tonight. I just want to drop that right now.
And of course, they contact Commander Day because he's the only one there who Star-Lord thinks he can get through to, which is probably right. And
what did he say? He got my dick message.
Oh yeah, you got my dick message.
You got my dick message. Yeah.
Because I may be. What did he say? I may be an asshole, but I'm not a dick.
Right.
Something like that.
Which is great. Classic Chris Pratt in the middle of that.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I think he said I may be a dick, but I'm not an asshole. That's what he said.
Yeah.
But yeah, Glenn Close, her character, she's like the Nova Commander. I forget her exact name in the movie, but she's like, all right, and then they send air support to help the Guardians, and so basically their plan is Rocket's going to lead the front with the Ravengers and all that, and also the Nova Corps, and help them slow down or stop the Sanctuary ship from coming and landing, because they know that once the orb touches ground, Ronan wins. He can just destroy everything like that.
Right.
And so the plan is to stop him before he even touches down. And now they kind of have the manpower to do it. They got the Ravengers, they got the Nova Corps, and their plan was to blow a hole in the hull of the ship, go in, and then they had this big ass gun device they were going to use to shoot Ronan.
Yeah,
and then
the ultimatum shot.
Right. Yeah. Like it ended up working like the ex-wife from Iron Man 2.
Basically,
yeah. Yeah.
Well, that was underwhelming.
Yep, that didn't work.
I mean, it looked cool, and it looked like it was going to work, but then all of a sudden it's like, dun, dun, dun.
They Dragon Ball Z'd us.
Exactly, yeah. Cell stood back up.
Right, yeah. The smoke cleared, and oh my gosh, the villain's still alive. He was completely still alive. But yeah, so that's exactly what they do. The Nova Corps, they do this really cool thing where they get in formation to make a giant shield
like
wall.
all their ships were able to interlock and all of a sudden become this huge, like, spacey laser ship.
Yeah.
That became a shield. Yeah.
And
that made sense.
Something like that. And they were doing a pretty good job of stopping the ship until Ronan used the power orb to just break through.
Yeah. And that made sense because it's like, oh, you break one hole in the shield, and now the whole blanket's tearing.
Okay, now surely 90% of the Nova Corps is dead.
Right.
I mean,
unless they did some intense rehiring in between all these movies,
right?
Which they've had time to do.
Yeah, but at this point, though,
at this point, the army, the militia, their budget has decreased intensely because there's like no one there, so they have to really work to get their militia back up.
Yeah, that was my thoughts because I was like, not just a few, but pretty much all those ships exploded. Yeah,
it just became like. Did you ever light a line of fireworks on fire and they all exploded in water? Yeah. That's what they were. They were just a bunch of like lined up fireworks all and expounding outward.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, shit.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, like you said, I hope they do some vigorous recruiting. They're gonna need it.
Please join our ranks. Please.
Yeah. I mean, shit, maybe this is where Richard Rider finally steps in. Yep. I mean, because a lot of people thought that maybe they see an Easter egg of Richard in Guardians 1. That didn't happen.
Cool.
And then they're like, well, for sure, Guardians 2, that didn't happen.
Nope.
And so maybe Guardians 3? I mean, come on.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
We'll get around to it.
We'll get there. We'll get there. So... Their plan is not working.
No.
Not at all. I mean, it was a good effort, good plan.
The shield broke, the gun didn't kill him.
Yeah. And it's all because of the power orb. If Ronan didn't have the power orb, then...
both of those would have worked.
Yeah. He does touch down on planet Xandar. And, like, here's the thing. Okay, so he touches down and he steps out. Now, have you ever been so desperate to do something that you just do the first thing that comes to mind, no matter how ridiculous it may seem? You know what? This is what happens.
That's exactly what happens. It is. And I do believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think...
No, I mean, answering your question, yes. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was trying to think, because I think that we've all... I mean, for me, it's definitely like all in my childhood, me trying to cover up shit for my parents, doing something ridiculous in the process to draw their attention away from what I don't want them to find out, or something like that. But yeah, so I mean, and that's essentially what's happening here. Because I mean, it's really clever what they do here. We see because by the way, Groot's dead.
I was about to say he became the tree shield.
Right.
We are Groot.
Yeah. And I'm going to ask you, what you think about that scene, the "We Are Groot" part?
Movie wise, it played well. It was okay. I mean, it was a little bit of a trope.
Yeah.
Actual character and my understanding of Groot wise, nah, bruh, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
Nah. Like, I could have gone without that.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like this was... Because, like, most of the cheese in this movie, I can stomach because, like, it makes sense and they followed up with something really clever or funny or good.
Right.
In this sense, though...
You break your character's rule this one time.
You break Groot's... his line of speaking, and... I mean, I'm not really sure what that means for the character. I'm not really sure what that does. I'm not even really sure what that's supposed to mean in the context of the movie.
Exactly. No. Like, oh, okay. What are you really saying there?
Yeah.
It's too easy to fill in the gaps and to say to yourself what you think he meant and define that as the answer. Like, oh, we're a team, or oh, we're going to be okay, or whatever you want to fill in the blanks with. Sure. Right. If that makes you comfortable, then you do you. But it's still kind of bullshit.
Right.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think they were trying a little too hard there to tug at our heartstrings. I think just having the character seemingly die was enough. We didn't need the "We Are Groot" line to get that across.
No, we could have literally just had him like smile.
Yeah.
And then we're good.
Yeah.
Instead of a cheesy line.
Yeah, or I think even just like a lighter, maybe a lighter and sad inflection of "I am Groot" would have sufficed.
Right. Yeah.
But no, we get the "We Are Groot" line, which
Real quick, I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious. Give me your best "I am Groot." in like his voice. I want to hear it real quick. I'm just curious. Come on.
You put me on the spot here.
I know, right?
I don't think I can do that.
I'll do one with you too. I'll try. I got it. Really massaging the neck muscles there. I am Groot.
It's not bad.
Thank you. Yeah. Like I said, I was really kind of playing with that voice box right there. Mm-hmm. Your turn.
Ah, jeez. If I can do one of those.
Yeah, you got it. Don't be afraid to do what I did. Yeah. Kind of like play with your voice a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, use the thumb. There it is.
Oh yeah. Okay. There we go. I'm Groot. Is that good?
Winner.
Yeah.
Winner.
That was my Sling Blade impression of Groot. Yeah. Like them biscuits and taters.
There it is.
Like them.
If you haven't seen that movie, please do.
Yep.
Billy Bob Thornton was the man.
Yeah.
Okay.
But enough about that. Yeah. Enough about I Am Groot. So, at this point, Rocket, he's all torn up because, Groot's dead. But at this point, when the ship lands and hits...
Wait, don't you mean Groot is all torn up? Because he's just a pile of twigs.
Yes. But we do quickly see Rocket trying to put something together, just a real quick tidbit of it. Right. And then they quickly cut over to Peter, who starts dancing to Ooh Child.
I know, right?
And
cool song for this. I never ever would have said let's use that song as the one for this scene.
Yeah,
like that took some creative genius.
It did. Yeah. That was really creative and it worked.
Obviously, by this point in life, you and hopefully many of you listeners have seen the deleted bonus scene where he does actually dance. Yeah, I loved that. Yeah. That was the shit. Obviously, that couldn't have worked at all for the movie because then you're just throwing away the ending plot. Like, the hell with this. We've done great thus far. But no, that was just a fun scene.
Yeah.
And
he's dancing, and he even tells us why he's dancing because Ronan's like, What are you doing?
What are you doing? What are you doing? He just could not compute this. Like the neurons were not touching. Yeah.
I mean, because I don't know if the Kree know anything about dancing.
I mean, probably not that one.
Yeah, probably not that at all. And I also love how all of his dancing, like, of course, it's the corny whiteboard dancing, but it's also dancing from his era of being on Earth.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's dancing centric to that time frame.
And then like he's literally talking out loud with it too, like here and break it down.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, that's kind of great. And you're like, he tries to pass it off, like, all right, now to you, Gamora.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Right, that's cool. That was really sly. Yeah. But of course, it's all just a distraction.
Yeah.
And as soon as Ronan turns around, Rocket's able to, was it Rocket or Drax? It was Drax. Drax fires off the gun that Rocket is able to put together, and it doesn't hurt Ronan or destroy the gem. It just knocks it out of his hand. But it gives Peter just enough time to jump in the way and grab it. And at this point, we get something really interesting here. We see the whole thing where we're honestly like, I mean, you're never really sure what's happening here for a while. It's just a little bizarre.
It was a little bit of a not exactly a catch-22, but it's like, okay, of course this would happen. Like it's a little eye-rolling.
Yeah, just a little bit.
It really worked for the plot, and it was super fitting at the time.
Yeah, because it kind of set us up for Guardians 2, because like, whoa.
It did. Yeah, like why the hell was he doing this?
Yeah, how is he doing this?
And they even talk about that post this scene, and that's cool, and that really ties it well together, but that does not make it any less eye-rolling for me. Like, okay, all right. Yeah, sure, the servant disintegrated, but you're cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, what's happening here? And then, of course, they all latch on to...
and that just made it a little more cheesy for me.
It did. And, like, You know, because at first it was like, okay, surely they're just latching on for their own survival, right? And then it's like, are they actually helping him? Like, is that helping him? How?
Let's share the energy. We're a team. Like, oh my gosh. This makes me want to tear up every poster that says teamwork in an office space. Yeah.
I'm like, you guys doing so good. Don't make me want Ronan to win this.
I know, right? Even Ronan was like, oh my gosh.
Just kill me. Yeah. And then they did.
And then they did at the end. Yep.
Yeah.
They won and done them.
Oh, yeah. I feel kind of bad because we did skip over the scene where Yondu uses that whistle and takes out like an entire squadron and a ship.
Nah, that was Yondu in the Arrow always makes for a great scene.
That was good. Yeah.
I mean, for one, damn, that's a classically talented arrow. Like, what is that thing made of? That must have been vibranium that didn't land on Earth. Like, another random comment of it. Yeah.
Something, yeah.
But,
yeah.
That thing's a shit, dude.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a pretty fun scene, too. So, yeah, Ronan's dead. The Guardians have saved the day.
Hooray.
Fortunately, all of Xandar is not yet destroyed. Even though their fleet is completely demolished.
Less hooray.
They pardon the Guardians of all their crimes. Drax drops the line about Ronan just being the puppet. He really wants Thanos.
Yeah.
They get a new ship, or they get remains of the old ship, and then they use new parts to rebuild the ship, the Milano.
Yeah.
And at this point, we're going to get the climax of the movie. The ending of the movie.
So if I really want to murder someone, is that illegal? Yes.
That was great because he just didn't know.
He's just like,
It's like
that's not going to change his intent.
It was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was a political, almost a philosophical sharing thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course, during the credits, we get the birth of Baby Groot. Which at this point was great.
Yeah, at this point
it was too great. That was the problem.
Exactly. Like too many people fell in love with it. They marketed it way too much, and all of a sudden it was an expectancy. It was another thing that's like, hey, we can make money putting this Groot in the next movie.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother argument.
Yeah, it is. Let's go on here to the post-credit scene. We have the Collector. He's in his base. It's all destroyed. Cosmo. Yeah. And then things don't get better for him because, like I said, in that little clip that I saw in Infinity War, he's getting jacked by Thanos. Yeah. But right here, Cosmo, the Russian space dog, is walking up to him and licks him on the face.
Yeah.
And then we hear...
Which, by the way, well-trained dog.
Yeah.
Okay, we want the dog to lick your face, okay? All right, go. Mm-hmm. Wow, this only took one take. Okay, we're done.
Well, it's Cosmo the Russian space dog. He's, telepathic. He can do that.
Also, that's really impressive that they actually got a dog to wear the costume.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't look like a cheesy Walmart dog costume. Like, I hate those things.
It's custom made, yeah.
But
and then of course we see Howard the Duck being voiced by Seth Green, saying, "Why do you let that thing lick your face?" And yes, he's like drinking a martini or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like I don't know, like
that was cool, but I didn't want it.
It was better than the Iron Man 3 post-credit scene. Everything about Iron Man 3 was terrible. Remember, the Iron Man 3 post-credit scene was just Tony talking to Bruce about the whole movie, basically. And then Bruce fell asleep like we as the audience did.
Yep. And, like we learned that he was actually just monologuing to him the whole time.
Exactly.
Like, hello?
Yeah. But I don't know, like, because I just imagine that after seeing Thanos in the movie, that we get something that will push the bigger plot along.
Right.
That's what I was kind of thinking, but we don't. We just get like a fun,
a little kicks and giggles scene.
Yeah.
But that's why I bring up again the middle of the movie, where it's like we do actually see Thanos, and that does progress the idea that, oh shit, he's gonna be a bigger deal. Yeah. And they did it well enough to where it's like you said earlier, he wasn't distracting. It wasn't like a, wait, are we done with him? I want more of him. You know? Yeah. But at this point in the movie, I think that not only myself, but I think a lot of people wanted maybe a little bit more Thanos to see where's your mind at now, Thanos? You know what I mean? Like, what are your thoughts now? That's true. I guess I can't imagine a scene where he's just kind of like, stupid Ronan.
Yeah. Like, stupid Loki, stupid Ronan. I'm going to try my luck with this robot. Hopefully he's better. Even though he has no affiliation with Ultron.
I was about to say, yeah.
Anyways. So overall, what do you rate this movie, Kevin? What are your overall thoughts here on Guardians?
Dude, this was a fun movie, man. Honestly, if I said that before, I'm not gonna say that again. I'm not gonna say the same shit every time. But I will say this: that I would enjoy, watching the movie sometime later on as well. Like give me not daily. Don't give me that, but every so often, hey, you want to watch Guardians? Okay, yeah, sure, I'm down for that. Twice a year type thing, maybe.
Yeah.
But I know that every time I do so, I'm gonna enjoy it. It's a fun movie to go back to. Great comedy, appropriate tone for all that. Random freaking hit from out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So it definitely has that fun surprise tone to it too. That aftertaste, if you will.
Right.
If I'm allowed to describe a movie with a taste. But I'd say 7.6 for me. Yeah. Out of 10. Yeah. Out of 10.
I got you. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I give it an 8.0 out of 10. Straight 8.
Cool. Okay.
Yep.
Straight 8.
Yep, straight 8. Like you said, I really enjoyed this movie. It came out of nowhere. I mean, because no one really knew what to expect from this movie.
Right.
And no one expected it to be as good as it is. I really enjoyed the comedy in this one was so appropriate because a lot of the comedy came from the characters being themselves and them and their different personalities clashing and interacting with one another. So a lot of the comedy felt natural and it felt organic. It felt, like this would be what would happen if this ragtag team of misfits actually came together. It really got me thinking about, because we've spoken openly about this, but we didn't really enjoy Guardians 2.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and so
walking out of the theater is kind of like, did that just happen?
Yeah, it got me thinking about what made Guardians 1 so much better than Guardians 2?
That's a good question. What do you think the answer is?
I think the answer is James Gunn knew he had a hit on his hand with Guardians 1, and so he tried to.
So he just tried milking it rather than be.
Where I think he just tried to take the aspects of what made Guardians 1 so good and play up on that even more. But in doing so, he missed the bigger things. He missed the bigger purpose here.
Okay.
For example, the team dynamic is what made Guardians 1 so great. Yeah. He split that team up in Guardians 2.
Yeah. No, most of the movie there's two different things. Yeah.
The jokes, there weren't as many jokes in Guardians 1, but the jokes, like I said, were organic and they were real. They were manufactured, and there was a joke every 2 seconds in Guardians 2, and maybe 2/3 of them landed, if I'm being generous.
Yeah.
And so it just felt manufactured. It didn't feel like it was a movie made from the heart.
Right.
I know that sounds cheesy.
The first movie was the original recipe, but then the second movie was the fast food quick recipe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so that's essentially why I think it didn't do that well for me.
No, that makes sense, dude. I get that for sure.
Yeah. Any closing thoughts here on Guardians before we wrap this bitch up?
I thought I had something. I remember thinking coming into this that I did. I can't remember it for the life of me. I'm going to have one of those stupid moments like you did earlier, where 5 minutes from now, after the mics are turned off and the headsets are off, I'm going to be like, son of a dick, I remember the moment. But as of right now, I got nothing. I hope you guys enjoyed the movie, because I know come on, you guys probably did enjoy the movie. It was a good movie. But, no, man, cut and simple. It's good for me. How about you, man? You good?
Yeah. Yep,
cool. Let's do it.
So we're going to hit you guys up and let you guys know what we're doing for this coming Sunday.
Indeed.
And, of course, next Wednesday we'll be covering, it's going to be time to cover Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
The second Avengers movie. And as always, guys, we do appreciate you guys listening. If you guys have, any kind of feedback, positive or negative, any kind of, gifts, threats, questions, food, supplies, or power orbs, hit us up at superherohomies@gmail.com or the Facebook page, Superhero Homies. Give us a review on iTunes if you guys really want to support us and help us out. That really does help us out a lot. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and close up shop here for the day, guys. And once again, we appreciate you guys listening. My name is Quentin.
I'm Kevin.
Catch you next time.